CorporateMOM mandatory corporate FEC reports, fiscal, ethical, and co-responsibility reports. Mission possible. Hello friends. Today's topic is CorporateMOM and mandatory corporate FEC reports. Mission possible. It's a very interesting one from what we had earlier posted on CorporateMOM and fund management. Well, three layers of funding. The guys, maybe the VCs in between, one higher up, one lower down, utilizer. How the FEC report would find it easy to make the three links between one and the other perfect. That is the one which has to be done if it is being done tracking the utilization of funds. And FEC report provides you with that. Let me also just play what I had earlier given on opening of the new parliament, where I had indicated that there should be a single which Prime Minister Modi had opened in the new parliament. The single is not a rule but justifies action. We look for the future and what this would transform into. Prime Minister Modi had called upon for Nari Shakti. Mother Earth has given us Sita and Andar to guide us what to set in the new parliament. The new parliament gets Sangol, scepter, not to rule but to justify our conduct. Nari Shakti is the empowerment of women to measure and certify ethical and co-responsibility. Let the new parliament usher in how men and women conduct themselves, not only reporting fiscal but their conduct of ethical co-responsibility factors. Making it mandatory for corporate and government departments. This is the one which is very important. It's not the rule is being given and somebody else goes and does the compliance aspect of it. That is what FEC report is looking at in terms of justifying the actions of men and women who have been handling the affairs of company. Now, when we look at the same thing with new parliament when it was shown, something what normally happens, which we come across, the opposition party is howling and opposing and blocking the development of various acts, and we find that politicians are pretty bad. I mean, the way in which they handle the various aspects of daily parliamentary requirements. But what do we know about the corporate? Inside job. The inside job, if you look at it, why should there be a Vijay Mallya, a Navin Modi? Why should there be a SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank? Why Credit Suisse? Why that Lehman Brothers? I mean, we do not know at all. We allow, and the current ecosystem has been making a very bad issue of the whole thing. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I am presenting here how FEC report should be handled should be created by each and every company. For doing it, I am approaching the government of India. I am requesting the government of India. I had put forth certain things with various people known to me, and the response had been excellent. They do say yes, it's a super job that we have to do of bringing a mandatory FEC reports from the government, so that every company, in addition to what you do for the balance sheet and P&L account or a CEO or a CFO report, you got to bring in the annual report, not necessarily on the annual report. I am going on a daily basis. You bring a report on a FEC report on the daily basis. Annual report will be too late. So is mandatory. I'm very sure the current government led by Prime Minister Modi would accept that requirement, that corporate must be given the dictum. You got to follow. We would like to know what you do within a company. The men and women who have been doing it is nothing to do with secrets of your policy and all that. There are 188 different policies of that in the government. There's a question of how it is being handled, how it has to be brought to the notice of the public. In the parliament, it is brought to the notice of the public as and when it happens. It was a dynamic governance system that has been put through. It's not the case with the corporate, the companies. What they do, ex post facto, balance sheet comes, 90 days goes, we are not paying the interest, there is a NPA. Is it like that? In 90 days, NPA's interest is not being paid, the NPA becomes NPA. It's not the case. It has been going on more than 6 months, more than 1 year, more than 2 years, and that is what is lacking. So if we are in a position to bring the CAGR to CDGR in terms of the daily growth rate of how the company is functioning, then we are in a position to bring about a dramatic change for a company. What is happening within the four walls of the company are being brought to the public arena. Then the public is ready to open their ballot for you. Those companies which are going to make it known, make it good, they are the companies who are going to be selected for the purpose of the growth potential that they show. Could be a startup, could be a company like Reliance. We are not any company. So these are the companies who are talking of the ethical and core responsibility factors being taken into account. There are more than 188 process blocks which have to be measured, how and tracked. Whereas in the case of quantitative elements, balance sheet and P&L, I can capture everything in 12 process blocks. Whereas if you look at the code of conduct, code of business principles, code of everything, and various aspects of the management, we are ignoring. That is where the FEC report, what are you doing within a company? It becomes very late. Vijay Mallya is owing about 8,000 crores. We don't know how many other bankers are involved with that. Bankers are not involved. These are the things which is happening within a bank. They do anything and we have no recourse as to what the bank does. So it is important that we bring about a change in bank. Bank is a must. How many CEOs have been knocked down in a bank? Chairman, managing director, also so big names being. Some of them are inside the prison even today. I mean, even this is a very important aspect of what the bank does. Bank has to bring about FEC report. If you look at the 3 layers which I was talking about, bank is on the top layer. They provide facilities, loans to big projects. And big projects is routed through somebody possibly, but it goes to the company. The company does not perform and it becomes an NPA. It will be too late if you are not in a position to identify the daily growth rate of big investments, big loans given by the bank, and what the lowest this thing that investing company is in a position to correlate what their aspirations are, what their dreams are, how it is being conducted, how it is going to be taken into account is what is needed. That's what the FEC report is all about. You've got to bring about a change. That change is what I am initiating. By going to the government, please make it mandatory for an FEC report, Fiscal Ethical Co-Responsibility report from each and every company. It must be given. Whether you give it on a daily basis or the annual report basis, start that work. Thank you. As a first step, change your organization structure. Einstein said the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it is comprehensible. Corporate and governments alone do not follow the laws of physics. You have a flat organization structure. Make it dynamic. That's what CorporateMOM stands for. Establishing a connect between the entirety and society. That is the title. CorporateMOM, Sustainability of Corporate Stability. CorporateMOM is corporate management orbiter mission. Corporate is central pillar of global economy, but collectively the current ecosystem has made it unstable. Make it stable. Mission is to make sure sustainability of corporate stability is ensured. That is the purpose. There is no different opinion among any as to stabilize the corporate management. The key word is sustainability. That is a sustained corporate stability. We have discussed on Volkswagen on fiscal and ethical responsibility. I am creating a framework, what we had so far discussed, which is fiscal and ethical co-responsibility framework, a track of entanglement. Please have a look at this framework. Volkswagen is one good case study. Our main theme in my work is construct values and deconstruct valueless. And this is the one we have to appreciate Volkswagen. One thing is almost every company has got unwanted things sitting around. And it could be a very major drawback, almost all the companies. But what Volkswagen has done is how to come out of it. And in that, Volkswagen is going to show to the world of management what they are doing is extremely good, and which almost all companies in the world have to. So the construct value is what they are redoing it right from the after the fiasco, and that is where this framework is brought into picture. Ethical co-responsibility. The most important thing why we are taking this Volkswagen as a case study is on gender equality. If you look at the chart, one is object, another is subject, which we have told SOS governance, subject, object, self-governance, which we have discussed. If you look at that two areas, one is the teamwork. Teamwork is there are 5 members in a team, 4 from fiscal responsibility and 1 from ethical co-responsibility. In that fiscal responsibility, both are involved, men and women. So you create a men and women equity, we will be able to find out. And if you look at the ethical co-responsibility, we are going to discuss that right now on women empowerment, and which is going to be taken care by the women folds on ethical co-responsibility, which you derive women equity. So you have men plus women equity in one side, fiscal responsibility, and women equity in the other side. Collectively, you are able to get the gender equality. And 134K teams into 5, 670K workforce are taken into account. So it becomes a very important aspect of the framework and how we are going to deal with it. And that is what I would like to present you here. I would like you to have a good look at that framework, and we will expand.